Hello, everyone, and welcome into your weekend reading. This is for Saturday, March 16th and Sunday, March 17th. So we're going to take a look at what all energies are coming in for the collective and then go sign grouping by sign grouping. And within each one, I'll pull a couple of extra cards for each individual zodiac sign as well. Also, the videos for the second half of March have all posted on the channel, so make sure you check those out to see what all energy is coming up. And I will be doing some additional videos this week. There will be twin flame reading, is this your person, things like that. So make sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted to those, as well as the upcoming ones related to the eclipses. So let's dive in and see what all wants to come through for today. And let's see, we've got our Eight of Pentacles. Oh, and then the next two, we have our Three of Cups and our Eight of Cups. So with our Eight of Cups energy, that's going to be this energy of like letting go and abandoning something, like moving on from something. Our Eight of Pentacles is about kind of like fine-tuning your skills. So she's fine-tuning her painting skills there. And then our Three of Cups energy is this celebration, this kind of friendship, community. So maybe celebrating if you have worked on something, maybe you're honing in on your craft. Maybe you have something that just got released, like an art exhibit or a new book, or you're launching a new business. And there's also this energy of moving on. So you've moved on from something and now you're celebrating some of your other talents that are coming through. So for this weekend, let's start with our earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and see what message is coming through for you. And they're all sliding. The devil. So the devil energy, this is anything that is keeping you from your highest good. A lot of times this has to do with addiction, whether it's addiction to drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, shopping, eating, whatever the case may be. It's whatever is keeping you from your highest good. So that is pulling you off path this weekend, or to be aware that it's trying to pull you off path for this weekend. And this says, break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So maybe it's something where someone in your family has struggled with addiction, and that's something that just kind of keeps repeating itself. It can also be addictions to destructive thought patterns. If it's feelings of inadequacy and, oh, I'm never good enough, I'm never good enough, those types of things can also be ancestral. That maybe you feel like your family wasn't treated very well, and your parents kind of blame it on, oh, it's always been like this, no one ever treats us well, and then you kind of buy into it. Then this card is Way of Faith. Let faith be your guide. So you're trying to be guided to move on from this and to let go of whatever those thought processes are that are keeping you tied into these addictions. So you're being called to let go and to move on from that so that you can celebrate and really find the area of your life that you excel at, and fine tune those skills, those gifts. And then we have practice makes permanent. So this is something that it's whatever those little things are that you do on a regular basis will become part of your permanent patterns. So for example, if it's, say that you are struggling with drinking. Oh, well, I can quit whenever I want to. I'm just going to, have an extra drink today because today's extra stressful because of X, Y, Z. If you keep doing that, if you keep falling into that, oh, well, I'll change tomorrow, I'll quit tomorrow, I'll go down a different path tomorrow, you're solidifying yourself even further into your patterns, because that's what you're practicing every single day. Similarly, if we're talking about your skill, if it's whatever it is, if it's practicing a musical instrument and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, let me just go through the notes, and you're just kind of sloppy doing it and practicing, then when it comes to performance time, it's much, much harder to actually do it right, because what you've been practicing all along is this quick little, violin, quick little, like, not really paying attention if you're slurring your notes, not really paying attention to the beat, to the time signature, to any of that. And so if you practice in a lazy, sloppy manner, you're going to perform most likely in a lazy, sloppy manner, or it's going to take so much more effort to perform differently. So that is the overall message for earth signs. Let's pull a couple more cards for each one. So we'll start with Taurus. What other cards do we have here for you? Five of Swords and Ace of Wands. So your Five of Swords energy, this is this kind of ruthless and ambitious and dishonest energy. So it's almost like, and that's, for you, that's going to be your devil energy, is that you want to do whatever you want to do at all costs. So even if that's hurting other people, even if that's being dishonest, that's the energetic push that's coming at you this weekend, is you want to feel like you're winning regardless of how you get there. And the other part of that push then is your Ace of Wands. So there's something new that's trying to come through, and your challenge is going to be, are you going to sit in this energy where it's something new, something exciting, you're working on improving yourself and you're working on having some sort of celebration, or are you going to keep spiraling through this devil energy where, you have that ruthless sense of, well, I want to do what I want to do at all costs. So that is for Taurus. And let's take a look at Virgo. We have our Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we have our Six of Cups. So there's a little bit of this element of financial struggles and overspending, while at the same time looking at things, from a nostalgia perspective. So, trying to relive glory days, and maybe you're overspending on that, and because that brings you that sense of celebration and happiness, like, oh, I remember when. But some of that is that living in the past energy. So it's okay to look back on it and, oh, that was nice, but make sure you're not living in the past, because if you do, if you allow yourself to do that too often, then you're just constantly living in the past. It's one thing to acknowledge the memory and, oh, that's nice, but you have to be able to move past that. So your devil energy, that you need to break the chain of, is this element of overspending and just kind of breaking yourself free from that. Let's take a look now at Capricorn and see what message wants to come through for Capricorn for this weekend. We have Four of Swords in reverse and the Devil in reverse. So with your Four of Swords in reverse, there's this sense of just exhaustion, and that exhaustion is going to lead you to breaking free from this devil energy. So, the bigger push on you is the devil energy, but coming up for Capricorn is that pushback against the devil energy, pushing back so that you can move on and break free from that and say, you know what, I'm done letting that dynamic control me. So beautiful there for our Capricorns. Now let's move on to water signs. So water signs will be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And let's see what is coming through for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right. We have the devil energy for you as well. So again, and this was what it was for earth signs, so if you skipped over that one, the devil energy is anything that is keeping you off your life path, keeping you off your mission. So it can be addictions to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, eating, whatever the case may be. And it can also be addictions to certain thought patterns, like, oh, I'm never good enough. I'm never going to find love. I'm never going to get this dream job. Everyone takes advantage of me, So, oops. This one wanted to jump, so we'll pull that one and then I'll pull another one. It says, mirror, who or what is triggering you? So that's something important to take a look at for this weekend, is what is triggering that devil energy to rise up inside of you? Like what triggers you to reach for a bottle? What triggers you to going off in these downward spiraling thoughts? And then Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So some of it, if you can see, you know, and this is going along here with this devil energy, and you're really looking at, you know, where are you being called to go? Because if you can look at your life as, hey, this is a series of lessons. I'm here to learn different lessons. I'm here to work on this different healing. You know that your lesson isn't, okay, how much can I drink? How much can I overspend? Or like, how much can I gamble? Can I learn how to beat the system at gambling? Like, you know that that's not what your life lesson is. Your life lesson is how do you grow as a person? And, you know, that's not going to be found at the bottom of, at the bottom of a bottle, at the bottom of these vices. You know that that's not what it is. So what are you being called to go towards is the big question there. And then we have make friends. Friendship is the alchemy of success. So this is going to help, especially for people whose devil energy is thought processes. It's those self-limiting beliefs. It's those feelings and comments that just cut you down. If it's self-deprecating comments, being around friends helps. So that, if you're around good friends that have good vibrational frequency, they're going to help lift you up and help keep you out of that devil energy. And then relief shall come quickly. So especially if you're able to sit in that friendship energy and if you're able to reflect on what some of these lessons are. So, you can move on. And this this 8 of cups about moving on from this devil energy and trying to put it behind you. And then you'll be able to celebrate with friends and be able to kind of fine tune some of these other skills and gifts that you have. All right, so let's take a look then. We'll pull a couple for Cancer. Oh, that was a lot that flipped. All right, so for Cancer, we have King of Wands and we have 5 of Wands. So our 5 of Wands is there's some energy of conflict here. And then when you pair this with the King of Wands, this is like that leadership type of energy and like meeting the challenges. So it's, one of the things to be mindful of is if the King of Wands is coming in as this leader, when you have this challenge, you want to make sure that it's this calm leadership type of energy, not this, I'm the leader and everybody's following me, like not that dominant type of energy. Because if there's conflict coming up, there's going to be the temptation to fall into I'm just going to control the situation. I'm going to exert my dominance and get over it. And that would be devil energy. So be mindful of that if you have conflict coming up this weekend, Cancer. All right, Scorpio. Let's take a look at Scorpio. We have our 2 of Pentacles in reverse and we have our Page of Wands in reverse. So the Page of Wands in reverse is kind of a little bit of this indecisive energy, like not really knowing what to do. And then with our 2 of Pentacles in reverse, this is, again, there's like too many options and you don't really know what to do. And this sense of wanting to move on, like for Scorpio, it's like, okay, there's too much in the air. I don't really know what to do with it. And so it could be putting you into cycles of procrastination. And maybe that is your devil energy, is procrastinating and looping through your options too much. So if you're looking at it like, where are you being called to journey to? What are some of your gifts? What are some of the things that you can share with the world? And that is going to be where you're able to move on from this, like, oh, there's just too many things. I don't know which direction to go. Look towards the direction where you see that you have gifts that you could still work on sharing those with the world. So whether that, even if that's not a new life, like new career path for you, even being able as a hobby to share some of your gifts. Maybe you can sing, maybe you can paint, maybe, you do quilting, of whatever the case may be. Any of those things, building furniture. How can you share some of your gifts with the world and put more time and energy and effort into that? Because that can also help you make more friends and that will help increase your vibration. So Pisces. we have our King of Cups energy and Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So your King of Cups energy, this is that wisdom and balance and being able to, look at the situation from a balanced perspective and say, okay, this is working, this is not working. But you're needing to balance that out with this sense of kind of like laziness and immaturity. So there's a little bit of that. And I think that is part of this devil energy that's kicking in and just kind of keeping you off your higher path, because this King of Cups, this wisdom and this balance, like that's where you want to move towards, not towards this like lazy, immature energy. And so that's what's pulling you off your path, is that energy. So, so be mindful of that and try to call on your guides to bring you in more of that balance and more of that wisdom. All right, so now let's take a look at our air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and let's see what messages want to come through for our air signs. All right. The High Priestess. So this is going to be that divine feminine. It's going to be that inner wisdom, that higher consciousness, that sort of energy that wants to come in. So this idea of moving on, it's moving on because you realize from a higher perspective that whatever's been hanging out there is not something that's bringing you towards your highest good. So you're moving on from whatever it is that is distracting you from moving into your highest timeline. And then also, as we're looking at this inner wisdom and kind of that higher consciousness, it's what are some of these other gifts that you have? So some of them are going to be gifts that are helping other people, that actually are improving their lives. They're making them smile. They're helping people learn the way, or see a new path for themselves. And you're going to be able to help people celebrate some of their successes. So with the blues that are matching up with Troy's dress there, that's really this time of celebration and this time of friendship and community. So you're kind of finding your place and finding where you can contribute to the higher good and contribute to your community. And that can either be your physical community that's in close proximity, or if you're doing something with an online component, you could be reaching people that are, I'll call it, more part of like your soul tribe, like that sort of community. All right, let's take a look at our light worker card. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being and integration. So right now, especially with these eclipses that are coming up, and we have Mercury retrograde coming up as well. So we're going to be entering the shadow period there very soon. There's just lots of energy out there, and you're being upgraded, and you're figuring out a new way to be able to integrate this knowledge that you're getting into your being. So a lot of times for people who are healers or light workers, things like that, if you had been living a very 3D life and matrix-based life, it's, as you look at transitioning into your gifts, there's a lot of changes in how you are, like how you perceive the world, how you interact with the world. So there's a lot that goes on there. All right. Then we have move forward. Experience the grace of who you truly are. And this is that idea. It's a new way of being. So if you have been getting upgrades and you are being called into your gifts and into your abilities and strengths, it's going to feel weird as you're moving forwards, but you will be getting to where you're being called to go, is the thing. So if you are resisting your gifts, it's going to be much more of a challenge or a struggle for you. All right. And this says, make your gratitude journal. So that's, actually, look at those colors there. That's something, make sure that you're being grateful for what you have. And I'm going to pull one more for people who maybe already even have a gratitude journal. Take a step away from your current problem. So sometimes taking a step away, like if whatever the situation is that you're being called to walk away from, take a step away from it And that will actually help you move forward if you can take a step back and then you can see it from a different perspective. But for those of you who don't have a gratitude journal, this is something I feel like it's very important, like to have mindful journaling practices. So on the new site that I had launched for Twin Flames, I have a piece about gratitude journaling, so I can put that in the description box below if you wanted to check that out. But there's definitely a something that's uplifting about that, and it's helping you connect on a deeper level with what your blessings are. So there's a template and a video about that if you're interested in doing gratitude journaling. But let's take a look now at individual signs. So we will start off for our air signs. We'll start off with Gemini and see what specific message wants to come through for you. Ace of Pentacles and Two of Swords. So with your Ace of Pentacles energy, this is going to be something that's new, that's wanting to come through, a new start, a new opportunity. Prosperity is wanting to come in for you. So it might be a new business opportunity for you, or maybe if you have a hobby or a talent, maybe you're finding a way to be able to incorporate that and bring some sort of abundance into your life. And then you also have this Two of Swords energy, and your Two of Swords, and you can see it, she's making a decision and she's blindfolded as well. So it's a difficult choice. It's a sense of having kind of some split loyalties and a little bit of denial, like, do I really need to make this decision? I don't. And some of the denial is, I don't really know what to do because of the blindfold. But when you take away your vision from these two eyes, you can get your vision coming in here through your third eye. Intuitively, you'll know what you need to do. So it looks like for Gemini, there's some sort of decision and moving away from something that's not serving your highest good, from something that's keeping you from being able to invest yourself in your gifts. And you'll be able to figure out where you need to go because you have that. You're very tuned in right now to your inner consciousness, your higher self, divine intuition. All right, Libra. Let's take a look at Libra and see what wants to come through for you. You have Temperance in reverse and you have Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So Queen of Pentacles in reverse, there's a little bit of this like greedy, selfish energy, and you're really not balanced. Something is out of balance with you. So make sure that you're relying on your intuition, because this is going to help you as you look at this from a higher perspective. What is it that is feeling imbalanced? What is it that needs to change to bring balance and alignment? Because remember, if you're out of alignment, you're not really living your highest good. You're not really on your path the way that Spirit would intend for you to be on your path. So you're probably not leaning into your gifts as much as you should. You're not getting that sense of celebration and community because things are out of balance and things just aren't where they should be. So for Libra, this was Libra, take a step back and try to figure out, look at it from a higher perspective. What would be the balanced approach here? And that's part of your awakening, is how do you identify where the imbalances are so that you can remedy them, or at least work on trying to find a solution to them. Aquarius. Let's take a look at Aquarius and see what messages are coming through for you. We have our Seven of Wands in reverse and 10 of Wands in reverse. So with your 10 of Wands in reverse, there's definitely this sense of stress and burnout, because it's just all of these wands and all of this cleaning is totally overwhelming her. And so, the Seven of Wands in reverse is also about weakness and burnout. And so it's kind of like this sense of, for Aquarius, this sense of, you know what? I've got to be done with this. I'm tired of having so much burnout. I need to have some sort of a reprieve from that. So when you're feeling like that, you're definitely being called to step back from your current challenge and say, okay, what is it like when you start doing these gratitude journals? Look back over time. If you've done this for, say, a month and you put 5 to 10 things every day that you're grateful for. What are the things that you're grateful for? What are you putting down in that journal? And how do you make sure you're incorporating those things every day into your life? How do you put more focus on those things that you're grateful for? And that will help bring you into alignment with where more of your energy needs to go, and maybe it'll help open you up to some other possibilities in life for you. All right, last but not least, we have our fire signs, which is our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and drop some of the cards here, so pull those up. All right, and it was multiple cards, so usually when multiple ones flip, I don't necessarily use those. All right, well, that one wanted to come through, the Tower, but I'll keep shuffling, because again, it was a lot. I don't know why. All of a sudden, for fire signs, maybe there's tons and tons of energy that wants to come in. So let's see what we got here. The Hermit. So, like I said, funny that the Tower flipped, but so we have the Hermit. And the Hermit is that period of self-imposed kind of like isolation. You're reflecting on things, you're processing it, you're gaining that inner wisdom. And in the traditional tarot decks, the Hermit also is holding a lantern. They are shining the way. They're leading the way for other people. So if you're going through some sort of a struggle and you can get into that Hermit energy where you're reflecting on it and figuring out what do you need to do to move past it, what you do to move past it can become a roadmap for other people that are struggling with the same situation to be able to get past it. So let's take a look now at our light worker deck. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? And this is that wonderful message. You know, oftentimes we fall into this trap of wanting to make sure we're taking care of everybody else because that's the kind and loving thing to do. But who's taking care of you? So when you know, if you have an old picture of yourself from when you were, say, 2 or 3, keep that on your phone. Or I have one, it's in a picture frame on my dresser. And when you start to have those feelings of, you know, just those gritty feelings, or things feel off, or it feels like something's unfair, look at that picture and say, who is fighting for that child? Who is fighting for them? And you need to step in. If you feel that the other characters in your life are not treating you well, or you feel angry or upset about it, it's a matter of you need to step in and protect that inner child. So that's that. How can you mother yourself? How can you stand up and protect that inner child to make sure they're being treated fairly? And then imagination, draw from the well of your own capabilities. So sometimes it's easy to get stuck in certain ruts, but when you look at moving on from something, use your imagination. See, because a couple of these cups are like this pinkish reddish. Use your imagination. If you have a lot of things on your plate, go towards the ones that are sparking that creativity in you, that are sparking those thoughts and feelings and of joy and happiness. And that's some of that Hermit energy. And actually, looking here at, you know, this figure, and then we have this figure over here, both in those blues, that's that self-reflection of loving yourself. And how can you show yourself more love? All right, release your need to control the situation. So some of it, as you're looking at walking away and making choices, again, these colors here, and you know, you've got your orange and green. And how can you release your need to control the situation and let it flow? Because if you're spending all of your time and energy trying to control a certain situation, you're turning your back on the energy that's wanting to come through on honing your gifts and your skills and your talents. And that's going to be what's filling your cup and what's helping you feel more happy or balanced or whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you're not pouring too much of your time and energy into trying to control a situation. All right, let's take a look sign by sign and see what additional messages come through. So we will start with our Aries and pull a couple cards for you. All right, so for Aries, we have 2 of Cups, and then we have Page of Swords in reverse. So there's a little bit of like cynicism and manipulation that's going on. So whether it's that you're being cynical and manipulating somebody, or you feel like you're being manipulated, so that's creating that cynicism. But then you also have this energy of Two of Cups, which is about partnership and connection and companionship. So, it seems like in some of this reading, like for fire signs and for Aries here, that you've kind of got two separate paths that are going on for you right now. So you have this side where there's this, companionship and partnership, and it's wonderful. And you have this joy and abundance flowing out, and you're growing as a person, you're honing your skills, and you have this great sense of imagination. But at the same time, there's something going on in your life that's creating this cynicism that you feel like you need to move past, that where energetically you're being called in, like your mothering to your inner child is getting called in, and you're reflecting on that. So it's kind of like there's two separate sets of forces going on, and whatever the situation is that's causing you to feel like you're being manipulated and causing that cynicism, that's what needs to be let go of. And that's where you need to release that sense of control and just say, I'm going to focus my energy on what's bringing me happiness, not on trying to control what's bringing me sadness. So if your focus is, I'm trying to limit the fallout of the sadness or the bad vibes, you're spending too much energy over there. Let that be what it's going to be, and then focus your energy on the happy. All right, Leo. What do we have for Leo? We have our Nine of Swords in reverse and our Seven of Cups. So, Seven of Cups, you have too many choices, and it is leading you to having to let go of some of them because there's just too many of them. You can't have them all on the plate at the same time. There's just too many. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse, you are looking for help. You're seeking help because you do feel like you're overwhelmed with choices. And so you're seeking help and you're going to move on. And that's what the message is that's coming for Leo. And remember to feather in all the other things that we had talked about in terms of releasing your need to control and let yourself go towards what is making you happy and making you feel fulfilled and on path. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see what cards are coming through for you. We have our Six of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have our Queen of Swords. So this is a little bit like our Six of Pentacles in reverse is kind of that energy of expecting payback, and I call it like a tit for tat energy. Like I will help you with this, or I'll participate in this only if I know I'm going to get something back. But the Queen of Swords is also this like no nonsense, like cutting away all of the BS and seeing it clearly, because sometimes you're in that situation because you have been burned enough times where you're giving and giving and giving, and then your bucket is totally empty. So I don't necessarily read the Six of Pentacles in reverse as being a selfish, greedy, like, oh, well, I'm going to manipulate you because I'm only going to be nice to you if you're going to do something for me. I look at it more as I'm protecting my own energetic field, and I will put myself in situations where I feel like there's some sort of reciprocal energy happening. And that's, from this mothering perspective, that's actually a good stance to take, because as a mother, you would likely not be counseling a small child. No, that's okay if these people are being mean to you. Just keep being nice. Just keep being nice. That's okay that you're the one that always has to clean up after all of your friends while they go off and play, and you're the one that's putting in all this effort to clean. Like as a mother, you would probably not say that. You'd say, well, no, you need to find friends that will help you with that. You need to find friends that are balanced, So that's kind of where I think this mothering card comes in strongly with this Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's about protecting your energy and making sure you're not being taken advantage of. So I hope that you found today's reading to be helpful for the weekend, and I wish you peace and joy, and we will see you next time.